Well, now there's a new study, and it's raising alarms about transgender medical treatments. Mayo Clinic researchers say puberty blockers have serious long-term impacts on growth, bone density, and fertility. And here's a quote. Some of the changes triggered by gender-affirming hormone therapy cannot be reversed. Others may require surgery to reverse it. This contradicts claims by trans activists who say treatments only pause puberty and buy time for transgender children to make decisions about who they'll be. Other countries like the UK have taken action. Doctors in the United Kingdom health system have banned the prescription of these types of treatment for children. Former Prime Minister Liz Truss weighed in recently.
Children have been taking this treatment in the UK and around the world, and they are potentially damaging their fertility, they're damaging their bodies. They don't understand the consequences of those decisions. And this has happened because it's been pushed by gender ideologues. It's incredibly damaging for young people before they're able to make those decisions to take these drugs that are altering these bodies.
One opinion piece last summer warned about the truth of puberty blockers. And it said gender-affirming care for children is a human experiment on children and teens, ignoring the long-term dangers posed by powerful puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones, combined with the large overdiagnosis of minors as gender dysphoric, borders on child abuse. Reuters, along with a health technology company, got some hard numbers to look at. In 2021, about 42,000 U.S. children and teenagers were diagnosed with gender dysphoria. That number nearly tripled in 2017. Jason Rantz, Seattle radio host. So this is on a trajectory that is epic in terms of the diagnosis. What are your thoughts about where we're going and what we're learning about these drugs?
Well, it's pretty clear we're going in the wrong direction. We are deciding that a kid is transgender when they're like 7 years old. We're not actually allowing them to come to a conclusion on their own with where they stand from a sexual orientation standpoint, let alone before we're going to gender identity, which I imagine we're confusing them about by constantly telling them that they can choose from one of 17,000 different genders that you can have on any given day, depending on your mood. This is going to confuse these kids. And when you have doctors, I think, as well-intentioned as they think they might be, they're acting out politically. They're pushing this on these kids because I think it makes themselves feel like heroes, where they're standing up and they're evolved on gender identity. But all we're doing is wrecking these children's childhoods. And it's just so damaging. And just to be clear, because we've seen the studies over and over and over again, we've known a lot of what's now coming forward for a long time. It's just the lobby that has been pushing gender identity extremism has been denying all of that science. It's the party of science that denies it when it doesn't agree with it.
Well, and that's a great point, because it's not like the UK is looking at different science than what we have. I mean, yeah. the scientists, I'm hoping, are not all that politicized and only globally interested in one part of the world rather than the other. And the young kids, you gave that 7-year-old example. The young children, they're so young being diagnosed with this. Even if they wanted to choose a dental surgery, they couldn't sign up for that and decide that on their own.
Yeah, you can't go to a tanning salon here in Washington State unless you're over the age of 18. And yet at the age of 13, you can run away from home, you can seek gender-affirming care, get it without parental consent, including surgical interventions, and the state is not allowed to tell the parent where the kid is. That is the law here, and we're seeing these kinds of things in California, in Maine. It's spreading.
All right, we'll move to this. Critics are calling out MSNBC for an interview with convicted felon and former, I don't know what our people meant to put there. However, we'll call her Stormy Daniels, attorney Michael Avenatti. It comes just after weeks past a mass network meltdown over the hiring of former RNC chair Ronald McDaniel. Avenatti gave this interview from behind bars.
I was not treated fairly, and I was treated differently. And I firmly believe, and will go to my grave believing, that one of the reasons I was treated in this fashion was because I was the biggest enemy of Donald Trump in 2018. There's no question about that. And I was also his most dangerous enemy.
A new column argues giving any oxygen to Avenatti is far more damaging to the network's journalistic integrity than hiring a Republican. Avenatti is a swindler and a convicted felon. He is worse in every way than Ronna McDaniel. This again is in the Washington Examiner, an op-ed. There will be no tantrum or hand-wringing over this. MSNBC is a network run by Democrats for Democrats. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, what integrity are we talking about with MSNBC? They're open about being hardcore to the left. So, I mean, it's not like they're lying like a CNN, which tries to play it down the middle or pretend that they are when they're very clearly on the side of Democrats. So, you know, obviously, Michael Avenatti as a guest versus Ronna McDaniel as a hire, slightly different things, but obviously Ronna McDaniel has a lot more credibility than a Michael Avenatti. I don't think that a Michael Avenatti interview is like the end of the world. It's whether or not they're going to treat him as a legitimate legal mind. And that's the real problem. Once he gets out of jail, does he end up getting a job at MSNBC? I mean, CNN is using Michael Cohen, pretending that he is a legitimate lawyer that we should be listening to, when the only reason they want these people on is because they're bashing Donald Trump. And ironically, there was a moment in the Avenatti interview in which he kind of made a valid point, which is Donald Trump can't get a fair trial in New York, and they shouldn't be moving forward with it. I think that threw a lot of folks over at MSNBC for a little bit of a loop, because I think all they wanted from him was just to bash, bash, bash. And he didn't quite do that throughout the entire interview.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, I just, when I first learned about this, I wondered, what do they get? And you said it. They want someone to bash Trump.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine those two men wouldn't. I mean, the first time I interviewed the president was at the White House, the Roosevelt Room. It was the day after Michael Cohen had been sentenced. So, I mean, what do they think they're going to get from these men? Exactly what they want?
Well, what they think they're going to get is probably what they were trying to coach them into giving. And I don't know, obviously, what happened behind the scenes, but obviously that's not exactly what happened, at least in Avenatti's case, once it wasn't even a camera that was turned on, once he used the prison phone.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, not on cam yet. Anyway, he's not out.
Not yet.
All right. Good to see you, Jason.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.